So, and I think Tyrell's on Central Time. So this would be on your time, 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. So I guess 2 patches are coming out. So I'm going to put the browser upstream so we can read this together. Okay, so no more sitting here waiting for someone to respawn you. Respawn timers are now based on the activity of players in crit path, agent missions, and other endgame missions. Now I have a respawn timer of 10 seconds. Strongholds, legendary contracts, and other endgame missions now have a respawn timer of 30 seconds. The respawn timer free play remains unchanged. Loot changes, common and uncommon green drops will no longer appear for players that are level 30. Improved stability. Audio improvements that cause audio to drop out. Nice. Hopefully that won't happen again. General fixes and improvements. Fixed a number of issues that were blocking players from accessing the Forge. All missions should now properly end when all conditions have been met. That's good. The inbox now properly displays information on PC. Fix an issue that would cause players to be unable to interact with NPCs in Fort Tarsus. Haven't had that one yet. That I can agree on. Thank you, Danny. Stream that new Roblox Anthem minigame. Can you clip this for YouTube, please? Yeah, go ahead and HL it. Water, you have the power. You are more human than a human. Fixed an issue that would cause the game to hang when entering menus while on an expedition. Cause the game to hang when entering menus. I don't know what they mean by hang, but I assume that means lag or get stuck. I don't know. Titans will no longer respawn on missions after they've been defeated. Example of player 2. If players defeat 2, thank you, Water. Oh, there we go. We also got it. 2 out of 3 Titans, and wipe on the 3rd. The first 2 will not reappear when the players respawn during a mission. Alright, so the thing we were doing earlier with the Ursix is no longer an option. You know, whatever. That thing we were doing with the Ursix wasn't all that great anyway. Server shutdown messages should now appear less often, thank God. Server will shut down in 1 hour 59 minutes. Server will shut down in 1 hour 58 minutes. Every 45 seconds, they would update it. Right in the middle of the screen. Gracias. Also, the ability to quick play into Stronghold has been added back in the game. Sweet. PC change. Crashes that occurred while selecting certain conversation options when interacting with an NPC have been fixed. More crashes fixed. Players should no longer get stuck at the end of the Tomb of General Tarsus mission. Players should now run into less issues during quick play missions. Additional improvements to quick play will be coming in future updates. Players should no longer get stuck behind fog walls or missions or in strongholds as often. Players should now receive credit for There Be Giants challenge when they are downed and when the event is active. That's right, we also have a challenge going on this weekend, an event. Improve the audio when defeating creatures to provide better feedback. Changed wording for server shutdown messaging to better indicate that it is just the player's server shutting down, not the entire game server. That's helpful, I suppose. Players may now launch from an expedition from anywhere within the launch bay and Fort Tarsus. Sax. Shenanigans. It's supposed to be on cooldown. They're going to play the sax effect when the server is shutting down. Do you even have the sax? I don't think you do. Alright, I'll have to give you the sax. Give you guys the sax. Yeah, server will shut down in 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 30 seconds. And then 30 seconds later, server will shut down in 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 30 seconds. Right in the middle of your screen. Improved the audio when defeating creatures to provide better feedback. Changed wording for server shutdown messaging. Right, we read that. You can now do an expedition from anywhere within the launch bay in Fort Tarsus. That's helpful. PS4 LED lights will now change based on the javelin being used. That's kind of neat. I didn't even know that was a thing, but that's pretty sweet. It should now be harder for players to get stun locked by certain enemy compositions. Okay. I would like also some more UI changes or any kind of indication so that we... Like, where did they just put it? To better indicate. Like, I need some better indication of what exactly is stun locking me. Because sometimes I'm not able to do anything and I need to... Is that the game or... The values on max flight time inscriptions has been increased. Oh, a buff to those. The appearance of the N7 vinyl on Legion of Dawn armor has been improved. I don't even know it was on there. Alec will now properly face players during certain dialogue scenes. The message, open the Cortox to track the Legionnaires challenge will no longer pop up after completing the appropriate challenges. Good. Stronghold, fix an issue that would cause players to get stuck at the entrance to the sewers in the Temple of the Scar Stronghold. I haven't had that yet, but fixed. Titans. Good. We have made several balance changes to all variations of Titans. Thank God. Reduced overall damage mitigation from 100% to between 70 and 75% depending on the damage type. Increase the time the weak points are exposed. Thank you. Fix an issue that prevents effects from applying and thus preventing combos. Okay. See? I told you, Justin. I told you. Just kidding. Increase the damage that the Titan.
But I was making them, so I don't know.
It worked for you. They probably looked at your game code like, oh, see? It was fixed here. If you mute the sound effect, they should cancel your brick. Increase the damage the Titan takes from weak point hits. Ooh, wow. This is quite helpful so far. Lesser Titan's weak points have been changed to always be active. Holy crap. We're going to melt those guys. Hopefully. Improve the collision on the ring and seeking projectile attacks. This should make them easier to dodge. Thank you. Decrease the radius of seeking projectile attack. Yes. Decrease the damage done by the self-destruct ability. Hopefully all this makes them 10 times less frustrating to fight, and if that's the case, then they'll become fun to fight, because they do have some solid mechanics behind them that make them an interesting world boss. Frozen Scar Enforcers and Scrappers can no longer move or attack while frozen. The monitor's health has been greatly reduced in the Heart of Rage Stronghold. There you go, Justin.
Good. Fuck.
Force. Players will be less likely to be repeatedly staggered by heavy attacks. Adjusted the force applied by some creature attacks down, which will lower the frequency of players being staggered. Sounds less frustrating. Damage and item scaling changes. Adjusted the damage scaling of secondary damage sources. These now scale. I'm just going to turn this down a touch while we're reading this. Touch more. Adjusted the damage scaling of secondary damage sources because this is definitely going to get copyrighted and there's no reason to have this up if the audio gets muted. These now scale with average item power. This will also allow these damage sources to better scale in the Grandmaster difficulties. Okay, hold on. Adjusted the damage scaling of secondary damage sources. These now scale with average item power. This will allow these damage sources to better scale in Grandmaster difficulties. This will increase the scaling of the following. So these are all considered secondary damage sources. Melee, combo, ultimate, status effects, item procs. Proc from Yavina's Thunder. Alright, so... Wow. Did you not know... Did you know, Justin, that ultimate damage wasn't scaling properly?
I didn't.
Or combo damage wasn't scaling properly. That could also explain why the Ranger has not felt like a very good single target DPS machine when we were pulling those combos last night. And with this change, we might actually feel like we're putting out some decent damage. Item power scaling is changed to better reflect the actual power of the item based on its rarity.
Surprise, motherfucker.
This is applied to all items retroactively. Players will see the power of their items go up. Item power scaling is changed to better reflect the actual power of the item based on its rarity. The actual power of the item based... Doesn't it already do that? Like 36 is purples, 45 is masterworks?
Yeah.
Players...
Maybe they increased it?
Players will see the...
All they said is changed.
Power of their items go up, but I'm not sure... how the whole thing as a whole makes sense. Like, I didn't know that was broke either. Are they supposed to be, like, based upon... Are Masterworks supposed to be variable? Like, sometimes they're 45, sometimes they're 40, sometimes they're 47. Are they not supposed to be a set number like they are now?
I thought they were saying legendaries were broken, that they were pretty much the same stats as Masterwork. So maybe that's one of the issues they were talking about.
I've heard that a lot too, so maybe that is hopefully one of the cases. I don't know. I guess we're gonna see early tomorrow morning what our gear looks like. Because I don't understand that one personally. The gameplay bug fixes. The ultimate ability bar will no longer appear full. Good. That's been a pain in the butt. In ESO, when you hit your ultimate at the perfect time, you're gonna get a lot of kills. Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense then, because definitely last night when we were doing Grandmaster 2, our ultimates were not doing a lot. And all this stuff that they've done here so far is going to mean that Grandmaster 2 might be doable again. But until they change the rewards, I still don't think it's really worth doing. Because it took us 3 hours last night. Okay, weapon recoil will now stop once an exo is looking straight up. Once an exo is looking straight up. What's an exo? Is that their word for suit?
Javelin suit. I think so.
Fixed a number of animation
Exosuit.
issues that could occur when the Colossus was using its shield. It should no longer be possible for the Interceptor to become frozen while starting up their ultimate. That's good. Interceptor aura damage will now deal the correct damage type based on the active aura. That's good, because I always froze things and I didn't know why. And Tyrell also always does acid. Players can no longer equip abilities from one javelin to another. So I'm assuming this has to do with loadouts. Like my ranger that's running the beam cannon can also... I can't do another one with the same ability. That seems like a weird one. The Colossus can now use gear faster after being attacked by a heavy hit from enemies. The Colossus can now shield charge through destructible objects. Colossus now recovers after crashing into walls. Item balance update. Increase the base health of wind wall and bulwark point to provide better scaling and higher difficulties. The duration of these has been reduced from to 20 seconds down to 60 seconds. Has been reduced. Wow. They're not around very long now. Burst mortar's damage has been increased to 300, up from 145, and its cooldown has been reduced to 6 seconds, down from 10 seconds. Its description has also been fixed. Flak cannon's damage has been increased from 42 to 42, up from 30. Battlecry's description has been updated to explain that it also reduces the resistances of affected targets. Oh, well. That's good to know. Had I known that, I would definitely be buffing that. I thought it just took aggro. Ray strike damage has been increased from 250 up from 200, and it will now apply elemental effects to targets based on the active aura. That's helpful for detail. Description text for Ray strike will be updated in the next patch. Is there 2 patches in one here? Wind wall should no longer block or interfere with other players' abilities. Ranger or Grenadier component will now correctly lower the cooldown of grenade abilities. Fix an issue where certain weapons were not firing where the crosshairs were aimed, like Steven was dealing with last night. The Ice Blast ability for the Storm Javelin now has the primer icon properly displayed. That's helpful. They need to do that with a lot more. Like the Acid Shooter on the Ranger. Inscription bug fixes. The thruster delay recovery inscription is now correctly applying a bonus. Wow, none of these were even working. So Steven was getting a total placebo. Didn't we talk about that last night? Or like 2 days ago, Justin? You told him it was bugged, and he's like, it looks like it's working.
Which one's that?
The thruster delay and overheat delay recovery. Neither one has been working. They now properly apply a bonus.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't mention anything about it, but...
Someone told Steven it was bugged. Maybe it was Ashton or something. He's like, it seems like it's working, but no. So he should notice a huge difference. Maybe you can turn another javelin into a storm. The weapon reload bonus inscription is now correctly applying a bonus. That sucks that wasn't working. Increase the base damage of the following masterwork weapons. Brawler's Blaze, Rolling Carnage, Cycle of Pain, The Last Stand, Glorious Result, Insult and Injury, Sentinel Vengeance, Nosta's Balm, Vast Surprise, Soothing Touch, Renewed Courage, Artenia's Gambit. I got a couple of those. I'm guessing you have most of those, Justin?
Yeah, a few of them anyways.
What's your pistol named? Isn't it like the Unkept Herald or something?
I can't remember. I'd have to look.
It is not getting a buff, it doesn't look like. Brawler's Blaze will no longer roll with incorrect inscriptions. Albative Shielding will provide the proper boost in shield and armor. Badge of Devastation will now generate more ultimate charge when triggered. It should no longer be possible to stack the effect of Gunslinger's Mark more than once. In addition to the above updates, we wanted to let you know of some of the other issues that the team is working on fixing. When loading into the game for the first time after a patch, the shields and armor on Javelin will be incorrect. The first time the player enters and exits free play on or any other activity, the issue will fix itself. So, go as soon as we load this patch up tomorrow, go into free play and then exit, and you're not going to have the issue anymore. Players are not receiving their level 20 match consumables. Players were granted item blueprints instead of recipes when they hit the levels of this level previously. Some players may experience auto crackling while on fortresses. There may be some instances when players are unable to quit out of quick play mission through the map UI. A number of challenges may not be tracking properly, such as the objectives under the legendary Freelancer challenge. Some players may encounter a bug where they are unable to interact with objects or players. Visual effects on Javelin thrusters are not functioning properly while stormy weather is present in the game. Inactivity messages may not be dismissed after a player returns from being away. There are a number of origin error issues, SPC. The UI may not display events for some player when an event has spawned nearby in free play. There's a bug where armor pips can change in between activities. So it's weird. I'll go out between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. Okay. So there is just one patch tomorrow, and this is the patch. So what do you think of this patch, Justin?
Solid so far. Especially for as quick as they brought it out, honestly. That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff for sure. So when do they do the big, like, Act 1 patch? Is that coming on the 12th since this one got pushed early, or what?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because they didn't mention anything about new content on this one. Right?
Didn't mention anything about what?
New content.
No new content, just a bunch of bug fixes and balance changes.
Yeah, which is fine.
It's something. And we have that event going on this weekend, so that's something to do too.
The Titan one?
Yeah, the Titan one. Unless you already finished it.
Yeah.
Oh, you already did it.
Like half an hour.
Oh, that's it. That sucks.